What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's a good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here. We had some breaking news come out late last night from Jeremy Fowler that Andre Cisco has suffered a pectoral tear. It happened in the Bengals game, fourth quarter, and it looks like this is one that's going to knock him out for the remainder of the season, right? As of right now, it's reported to just be him being out indefinitely. I'm assuming we'll go through the normal motions of having a second opinion and stuff like that, but it's most likely to require surgery. And anytime you have these pectoral labrum type tears, different things of that nature, it's going to end up being season injury. Doesn't help that we're effectively about halfway through the regular season as well, and we're not looking to make playoffs at any point, right? So at this point, you can effectively say his first season with the Jets is going to be shut down, and it's definitely ending on a disappointing note because we were hoping to recapture the ball hawking playmaking ability of his good years with the Jaguars, where I believe he had 6 interceptions. It may be 8, but nonetheless, he was a guy that was known to be able to go out there and play off instincts, had the athleticism to make some of those educated guesses, if you will, and get the ball back in the hands of the offense. And none of that ever really materialized for the New York Jets. So in a world where we put a coaching staff together that should get these guys to play above their means, it looked like a pretty solid signing for a guy that, wasn't over the hill in terms of the age gap. We've seen a decent enough sample size of when he was successful with the team and how they deployed him. And we were even looking to utilize him in some blitz roles where he was semi-successful in the preseason as well. And of course, a couple standout days during training camp. But again, never really worked out for us. And, just kind of sucks because it feels like we've really been searching for a solid safety duo since Jamal Adams and Marcus May. We've either chosen specifically not to invest any premium draft picks or really draft picks just in general at that position, or relying on undrafted free agents, relying on free agents and whatever kind of holdovers happen to be on the roster here. But what does that leave us with next, right? Obviously, the safety room still needs bodies back there. You still need someone that can take those starting level snaps. He did play 98% of the defensive snaps prior to his injury. So, most likely a combination of Tony Adams moving over, Isaiah Oliver picking up some more safety snaps as opposed to being a rotational cornerback. And if it's me, and I'm looking internally here, right? The only real option that was out there in terms of even having rumors and trade news out there was Kyle Duggar from the Patriots, and he ended up being traded to the Steelers. Since that's also a division rival, you highly expect that a move like that wouldn't be one that either gets approached or two is kind of laughed off by either side, right? In this case, the Patriots, since they own Duggar, but nonetheless, no longer an option. So internally, what can we do outside of the Tony Adams, Isaiah Oliver move? There's 3 options that I like, right? And I'm going to go with the first 2 because they're internal, and then I have a third one that's a bit of a wild card here. But the first one is Dean Clark. This was the safety, 6 years in college, right? So ample experience. He was a guy that I thought was going to look good the majority of the offseason, and it ended up being a bit of a slow burn for him. But you've seen him really pick it up over the last, 2 preseason games that he was really able to get in, and kind of the impact that he could potentially have on the back end there. Now, the concern would be is that he's more of a strong safety type, not necessarily one that can play free safety, although he did play a numerous, pretty much every role you can imagine, matter of fact, on the back end. But where he would probably have his most success is going to be at strong safety. So a guy that you can test out, maybe not the best use case in this situation for us, but potentially a cheap in-house option. Doesn't have to get crazy, as essentially had his hand on the playbook this entire time, and so you can kind of make the transition a little bit more seamless than if you traded for a guy or if you look to pick up a free agent right now. The other option would be a recent addition in JT Woods, former Chargers 3rd-round pick, has a high pedigree, right? This is going to be a guy you would have invested a premium pick in, and this is a guy that has all of the makings of someone that could be successful as well. Playmaking ability, has athleticism, but he hasn't been able to piece it together. In fact, it was so bad that the Chargers were able to cut him less than 100 snaps into him playing for that team before he bounced around to about 5 or 6 other groups before ultimately landing with the Jets. But if you believe in what they've been able to accomplish with Brandon Stevens, even though Cisco hasn't panned out, then you can kind of give this the use the Robert Saleh math, if you will, here, right? I have Jamien Sherwood. I have I forget the name, Nasruddin, the other safety, right? That guy didn't pan out, but Sherwood did. Quincy Williams panned out, but I'm sure there's a few other names you can add to that list that didn't, right? Take another dart throw, take another shot, see what you can make happen, right? Still might be a little bit early for him, but then we get to my favorite addition, and this was a guy I was extremely high on. I thought he had as good of a chance as any other undrafted free agent to crack this roster and potentially remain on it, but ended up suffering from the injury bug. Jarius Monroe, Toledo guy, if I remember correctly. It might be Tulane. But he was a guy that I really fell in love with after getting into a breakdown. Didn't show a ton in that first year with the team, but you talk about his offseason this year. Showed up plenty throughout OTAs, showed up plenty throughout training camp, and really looked good in every preseason game that he was in. Oftentimes, you can point him out very easily without even having to go and look at all 22 tape as a guy that's running around. He's firing after the ball. He's impacting the ball carriers and trying to stick them at will while making good form tackles, and often was in play to at least try to force something in terms of making a play on the ball. And I would be happy to see him get another shot with the Jets now that it seems he's healthy again. I say that because it did come to my attention he had a recent workout with the Giants as he looks to see what his next opportunity in the NFL is going to be. But if we are going to look, quote unquote, on the outside, Jarius Monroe will be one of my first options. Again, as a cheaper guy, has been acclimated to what this team tried to do earlier on, and can kind of mitigate the learning curve a little bit there while getting the play style that you like out of someone like a Jarvis Brownlee, but inserting that in at the safety position. So let me know what you guys ultimately think. I don't know what we do here. Maybe there's a surprise move on the trade market that we can pull off, a guy that we don't necessarily know about. That, of course, the guys are getting paid the big bucks need to know. But let me know what you guys think. What should be the plan? What do you think about the options I presented? And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.